Hi, welcome back, folks. As always, I'm your host, Mr. Update. Now, let's get to the show. I've been thinking a lot lately about how life has this way of presenting itself as a game, or maybe a whole series of them. Some games have clear rules, definite endings, like a round of chess or a football match where there's a winner and a score at the end. But then there are these other games, the infinite ones, where the point isn't to win, but to keep playing, to build something that lasts. It's fascinating to consider how we get caught up in the finite stuff, chasing after points or titles or piles of money, only to realize later that maybe we've been playing the wrong game all along. Take an athlete, for instance. They're out there dominating the field, racking up victories, feeling that rush every time they score. But what happens when the game ends? Retirement hits, and suddenly there's this vast, empty horizon. No more crowds, no more wins to chase. The real skill, it seems, is knowing how to shift gears from those finite pursuits where you are conquering and accumulating to the infinite ones where the value comes from relationships, personal growth, and contributing something meaningful to the world around you. In finite games, it's all about beating the competition, but in the infinite version, it's about forming alliances, sustaining the play so everyone can keep going. I find it striking how this applies to our ambitions, especially early on. We set these targets, land that dream job, hit a certain financial milestone, and we pour everything into them. But once you reach them, what then? They can feel surprisingly hollow. There's this story that comes to mind about a media tycoon who builds an enormous empire, commands respect everywhere, but when his time comes, the people at his funeral are mostly there just to make sure he's really gone. It's a stark reminder that wealth, if it's just amassed for its own sake, might amplify your life, but it doesn't create fulfillment. Instead, maybe the pivot is toward what truly endures. Being there as a devoted partner, a present parent, or standing up for principles that outlast you. It's like furnishing a home. You get the basics, a sturdy couch for comfort, functional pieces that do the job. But then you add that one jewel-like item, something special that elevates the whole space. In investing, this rings true too. Not every asset in your portfolio has to be a blockbuster. Sometimes it's about those exceptional ones that bring intangible value. Imagine a timeless publication that draws in the world's sharpest minds. It's not just about the returns, but the connection to elite ideas. Placing an ad there pairs your brand with cultural peaks, like tennis legends or opera virtuosos. These kinds of investments go beyond simple earnings. They resonate personally, like a cherished artifact that makes everyday life feel richer. And here's where quality really shows its power. It's not linear. The finest businesses or assets aren't just twice as good as the average. Their advantages compound exponentially, maybe 100 or even 1,000 times over. Chasing after undervalued but mediocre opportunities might mean missing that edge entirely. Think of a publication that's weathered digital storms, attracting anonymous thinkers from around the globe. It's on an unassailable peak. To knock it off would take something seismic, like shifting a mountain. But let's pause for a moment on this idea of quality and how it ties into our daily pursuits. Why is it that so many people justify every hobby or gym session by saying it sharpens their investing edge or boosts their professional game? It often feels like a rationale, maybe to explain fees or to deflect during tough times. The authentic question to ask yourself is this really your best life, or is it a performance you're putting on? There's this legendary investor who dives deep into annual reports, skips the luxury cars and distractions. His joy is genuinely there. For the rest of us, forcing every activity into some utilitarian box can come across as disingenuous. Hobbies for their own sake, pursued just for the pleasure, can restore that balance we all need. Admitting vulnerabilities plays into this too. Whether it's a health setback or a career stumble, facing those truths builds real resilience. It's not about chasing perfection. It's about confronting the fact that our time here is finite, and there's diminishing returns from piling up more and more wealth. Better to optimize for quality, Maybe cycling through nature's stunning landscapes or nurturing those family bonds over endless accumulation. And courage, it doesn't come from being fearless. It's about overcoming reluctance, stepping into honesty that leads to adventures scripted success could never touch. Shifting gears a bit, let's talk about friendships, because they're such a vital part of this infinite game. They remind me of a diverse garden, sturdy oaks that provide enduring strength, and those fleeting blooms that add color for a season. Some bonds are like that. They thrive intermittently, picking up right where you left off after years, almost like family without the blood ties. Others serve a specific phase, say exploring the nightlife in a vibrant city, and then they fade naturally, leaving behind fond memories without any regret. Life's changes, like a major illness, have a way of revealing who your true allies are. The ones who show up unexpectedly versus those whose envy might poison the air. It's wise to distance yourself from the latter, maybe orbiting them like distant planets, while keeping your inner circle for mutual joy. Cultivating these relationships means considering opportunity costs. Crossing an ocean for a profound connection can be worth far more than obligatory visits right next door. As the years add up, minimizing regrets comes from investing in ties that energize you, not drain you. Change is life's constant rhythm. Most connections are there for a reason or a season, rarely a lifetime. Embracing that without getting overly sentimental allows you to appreciate what mattered then, how it fueled your growth, even if you've outgrown it now. Now, on a related note, how is it that two people can debate fiercely, really go at it over ideas, and still walk out of the room as equals? The key seems to lie in some deliberative rules drawing from centuries of Western tradition. You treat ideas as separate from the individuals. Attack the ideas, but respect the people. Skip the personal barbs. Give everyone a right to reply if something's misrepresented. Balance the speaking turns so no one filibusters and stifles the flow. These principles turn conflict into something productive, whether it's an intimate conversation or a grand assembly, forging solutions through shared exploration. Curiosity is the fuel here. Instead of just hearing opinions, probe their origins. How did you arrive at that view? Keeping things confidential encourages vulnerability, and phrasing advice as personal reflection, like, in your shoes, I'd consider this, opens the doors without putting anyone on the defensive. Structured formats, such as a dinner, where everyone weighs in on one topic, can amplify that depth. Seek out partners with growth mindsets, folks unafraid of intellectual challenges, and suddenly conversations become journeys, not battles. This ties into how wisdom builds over time, not from passive reading, but from directed inquiry. It's like priming a lens before you view a masterpiece. You see so much more. Examining life courageously means not squandering potential on an unexamined existence. We all have those youthful follies, like a mythic hero who forges a great sword but stumbles into peril anyway. Experience turns those into lessons. Regret might come from skipping that extra hour with family for more office drudgery, but use it to pivot. Tools like AI can help now, letting you converse with text, uncovering hidden motivations in classics, say, a knight obsessed with naming his horse, mirroring our own ego-driven distractions today. Reading with purpose unlocks even more. Look at the metadata around literature, why an author shaped characters a certain way. Satirical works are especially powerful, holding up mirrors to human absurdity and revealing patterns in ourselves and others. The path to wisdom is lifelong, sped up by humility. Admit the gaps in understanding the world's mechanics, then build bridges through purposeful exploration. And speaking of building, helping others isn't just altruism. It's this enlightened self-interest that compounds goodwill. Much like sound, money grows value over time. Spotting potential early, a budding author's overlooked work, or a young entrepreneur's spark, and offering a small lift, like a note of encouragement or sharing the spotlight, echoes how nature's web interconnects. One thriving element enriches the whole ecosystem. In the long run, it creates networks of gratitude that far outpace isolated pursuits of wealth. The game here is about maximizing those who genuinely appreciate your existence. More players just enhance everyone's returns. At the end of the day, money secures comfort and frees up your focus for what truly matters. But happiness springs from those intangible pursuits. Once you've got the basics, shelter, food, it abstracts away the solvable problems, letting you wrestle with the profound questions. People who've immigrated in search of security know that grind all too well, but chasing excess often pursues illusions. Instead, invest in hobbies for their pure joy, build those infinite games of connection, and embrace the fruits of liberty, living authentically amid the wonders of creation. That's where true wealth resides, not locked in vaults, but in the lives you've touched and the horizons you've expanded. Well, folks, that's it. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed the show, please remember to like and subscribe. I hope to see you next time.